Hello, now we are going to continue on with our work in translating from English into maths, from translating from an English sentence into our algebra. So we're going to start here on the left and we're going to deal with this question first. The perimeter of a square is 20 centimeters. How long are the sides? Well, what words do I recognize in maths? I recognize the word perimeter. I recognize the word square, and I'm told that my perimeter is going to be 20 centimeters, and I'm looking for how long something is. I'm looking for a length. So I'm looking for these key words that I'm going to be using to solve this question. So I can see here I have a perimeter, which I usually use as capital P, is 20 centimeters. And what am I looking for? I'm looking for length. So I'm looking for a length. I'm going to call that length L. And what shape am I dealing with in this particular question? Sometimes we'll be dealing with shapes, sometimes we won't be. In this case, we're told a shape. So anytime we're told a shape, I'm going to draw a picture, a quick sketch of that shape. It does not matter what the question tells me. I'm going to draw a picture of a shape if it tells me I'm dealing with a shape. It doesn't need to be an accurate diagram. It's as quick as I just did it there. Now, I know I'm dealing with a square and I'm dealing with the side lengths of a square. So if I have a particular length of one of the sides in a square, that's what I'm interested in, the length of one of the sides of my square. What do I know about a square? Well, I know that the length of each of my four sides is the same. If this side is length L, this side is length L, this side must be length L, and this side must be length L. Because it's a square, they must all be the same. Now, I've done this without really thinking too much about the question. I just took the information I was given, I wrote it down clearly. I have a perimeter of 20 centimeters. I'm looking for the side length L. I drew a picture of the shape I was told about, and I filled in information that I knew about that shape. And now I can look and see if I'm able to solve my problem. Well, I'm told about the perimeter of my square, and the perimeter is if I add up all of my side lengths. So the perimeter is equal to L plus L plus L plus L. And I know that that adds up to 20 centimeters. Well, now I've got an equation that involves the thing I'm looking for, which is what I want. So now I'm going to try and simplify that equation. So let's have a look at that. I have L plus L plus L plus L. They're like terms. They're all L. So I have 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1L. So I have 4L in total is equal to 20. Now I want to get 1L. I want to know what 1L is equal to. I said that right up at the beginning before I'd done anything else. So I know what 4L is. I want 1L. So that means if I divide this side by 4, I'll get what I want. I'll have L on the left-hand side. But remember my balance. Remember my weighing scales. If I've divided this side by 4, to keep the balance, I'd have to divide this side by 4. Do the same thing to both sides. And when I do that, I get 5. Now we're not quite done because we're told in this question that we're dealing with lengths in centimeters. And this is the length. This is what you'd measure with a ruler as the side length of our square. So I need to say centimeters is what I'm dealing with. And that's how we solve these problems. We write down what we're told in the question. We read it. We tell ourselves the story of what we've been talking about. We know the perimeter was 20. We know we're looking for a length. And I drew a picture because I was given a shape in my question. I won't always be given a shape, but anytime I am, I'm going to draw a sketch of it and see if I can see if that sketch can help me to solve my problem. So that's my first problem done. Now let's have a look here. The sides of a triangle are 3 consecutive numbers. That should say whole numbers. The triangle's perimeter is 12 meters. Find the lengths of the sides. Again, I have a bunch of keywords. I'm looking for a triangle. I have consecutive numbers. I know a perimeter. And I'm looking for the lengths of the sides. Well, let's deal with the most complicated word first. Consecutive numbers. We have 3 consecutive numbers. Well, what are consecutive numbers? Without any other restrictions, so there are 3 consecutive, and I'm going to say they're whole numbers. If I take an example then, I'd have 7 could be a whole number. The next consecutive whole number would be 8. The next consecutive whole number would be 9. If I write this in algebra, I would have, say, x would be my first number, that's 7. 8 would be x plus 1. And if I keep writing things in terms of x, 9 is x plus 2. Sorry, let me rewrite that. X plus 2. So 7, 8, 9. 7, 7 plus 1, 7 plus 2. So x, then x plus 1, then x plus 2 are 3 consecutive whole numbers. Now, if we were dealing with consecutive even numbers or something like that, we'd have to look at a different pattern, and we can figure that out. But for right now, we're just talking about 3 consecutive whole numbers, or natural numbers, if you like. Now, that's my consecutive numbers dealt with, and we've already talked about them in this chapter. Now, what we're going to look at is the fact we've got a triangle. If I'm given a shape, I'm going to draw it. So I have a triangle. I have no idea what type of triangle this is, so I'm just going to draw a triangle. I know what a triangle looks like. And if I have a side length x, then the next consecutive number would be x plus 1. And the next consecutive number would be x plus 2. And x plus 2 obviously must be the longest side, and x must be the smallest side, shortest side. And I've written that in because I'm told that I'm looking for the lengths of the sides. My 3 consecutive numbers are the lengths of the sides of my triangle. And I'm told that the perimeter is equal to 12 meters. And I want to know what x is equal to, what x plus 1 is equal to, what x plus 2 is equal to. I want to know these 3 sides. So I've taken my question and I've translated it into maths. I've written down all of the stuff that I've been told. I've drawn a picture, which helps me. And now I am going to see if I can figure out how to solve my problem, now that I've done all this hard work. Well, I know the perimeter is when I add up all 3 lengths. And I've figured out a way to write my 3 lengths. So the perimeter is going to be x plus 1 plus x plus 2. Now I've put these in brackets, you don't have to. It's just to show you that this is this side length plus this side length plus this side length. The perimeter is just adding up the lengths of the sides, which is what I've done here. I've added up the length of each side, and I know that that adds up to 12. And now I've got an equation where I've only got one unknown in it. It's the length of the shortest side, and I'm going to try and solve that. And if I can find the length of the shortest side, then it's very easy to find the length of the next 2 sides. So let's add all of this up. I have x plus 1 plus x plus 2 is equal to 12. Do I have like terms? I do. I have x and x and x and 1 and 2. So let's add up all of our like terms. I have 3x's, so I have 3x plus 3 is equal to 12. Now I want to find out what x is, so I'm going to rearrange. I don't want the 3 here, so I'm going to take away 3, and if I do it to one side, I must do it to the other to keep my balance. So 3x is equal to 9, and I divide both sides by 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1, so I'll be left with 1x on the left, and to keep my balance, I must do the same thing on the right, so I end up with 3. So x is equal to 3. This shortest side here is equal to 3. So the next biggest side is going to be 3 plus 1. So this is my shortest side. My next side is going to be x plus 1 is going to be equal to 3 plus 1 is 4. And my longest side is going to be x plus 2 is going to be 3 plus 2 is equal to 5. So I have my side lengths. My 3 side lengths are 3, then 4, then 5. And you can see that they are consecutive numbers. 3 and then 4 and then 5 are 3 consecutive numbers. And if we add them all together, 3 plus 4 is 7 plus 5 is 12. So they're 3 consecutive numbers. And if we add those lengths together, we get 12. So our answer checks out. It makes sense. Our 3 plus 4 plus 5 adds up to 12. And we remember that our answer from the beginning, we were told that we were talking about meters, so our answer is in meters. So these are all meters. So really important that what we're doing is taking each bit of our sentence, we're writing it down as clearly as we can. If we're given a shape, we're definitely going to draw a picture of that shape, and we're going to try and label each part. And if we can do that, if we can get very good at doing this part, the rest of it you already know how to do. This is algebra you can all do. So the key part here is training ourselves to look at the English, and we're going to write down exactly what the English means in maths. And if we can do that, we can do all of these questions. And that is the skills that we need to be practicing for now.